Alrighty, PG-13, and this is G.I.Joe 1985, and we'll be looking at the Silver Mirage, the Cobra Ferret, and the Cobra Flight, Flight Pod, and that's back there. And I thought I'd just make this a little more interesting and have a few comparisons here. So we have, first we're going to look at the Silver Mirage. So we're going to just slide these over. Silver Mirage was awesome. I love the fact that it could detach and you could use this as a separate motorcycle. And well, it is awesome. That's just another Kick Quick I got. Also, Kick Quick came with nunchucks. There's his nunchucks there. Now, we have on this, we have a few missiles. There's 2 missiles here, and they do detach. This cannon also, you can pop that off. There's a little shield under here. It's a little dusty. I didn't have time to dust off the vehicle. You know, one day I'll have to take some time and dust off everything. But as you can see, this one's not too bad of shape. However, it is made a little flimsy, but it does have 2 more missiles in the back here. 2 more smaller missiles. There is little handles in here, if you can see. There's handles for the figures to put their hands on. The bike does have cool motor detail. Little pegs to put your, I shouldn't say that, because every time I say that, the Apple device comes on my phone when I say, how do you, and then, you know what I mean, that comes on. Anyways, there's a kickstand underneath as well. So this was awesome. I loved this bike, and I did have this when I was growing up, and I was so happy to get another one. But it could have been made a little better. The plastic back here tends to warp and stuff, so they should have made this a little thicker. And well, let's have a look here at the comparison bikes. This one here is the 2010 Snarler. It was also used as well, Snarler cycle. It was also used as an October Guard, I think a year after or the same year. You can look at yojo.com, and yojo.com only goes up to 2017, so 3D Joes might have more updates as well. But this one has a wicked sidecar. However, these oversized gimmicks kind of ruin the features here, but this probably just pops off. So you probably put a smaller weapon in there. But this is a wicked sidecar. And look at the handlebars on this. This is awesome looking. I do recommend getting one of these for your collection. It is made for the more retro type figures, because there's 2-foot pegs. But like I said, if Hasbro would have kept in mind the vintage collectors and made this inner, like reversible, so you could flip it over and then the vintage pegs would be underneath, that would have been awesome. But again, Hasbro didn't have the foresight to see. However, they do make some cool vehicles, and that's why we're showing you in the review the 2010 Snarler cycle. And the other one here that I had here is the this one is, the 2003 Venom cycle. It's a little bit larger, and it looks a little might fit the 4-inch figures better, but it actually did come with a Viper, or they probably called them a Cobra. But it is a Viper that comes with it, and it is awesome looking. And however, the gimmicks always ruin it. But it is cool. You could probably remove the gimmick. It just pops off, but we don't want to break it right now. But you can see there's a cool seat there. And I think this was new out of the package, because the antenna is not broken yet. And again, they should make the antennas out of rubber. And it does have a spare missile in the back here. And we got Road Pig on here. And we got a comic pack. Thrasher. So anyways, this is an awesome looking cycle. So, the Dreadnoughts should have had more cycles. And well, that is not too bad at all. But again, the Snarl is a little better than the actual Mirage. So I'm going to say this one here is nice. But this is our vintage bike. And well, that's what we have. Vintage bikes are awesome. Then we have the Cobra Ferret. This was remade a few times. Sorry for that. Having to clear my throat. This was remade a few times. This one is pretty dusty. Just sitting on the shelf. But it also has, like when you move the handlebars, the handlebars and the laser cannon does move with it. I mean, this is just a beautiful bike when you compare it to the other ones. It's awesome looking. And the card or the box art always depicted, I say, Saboteur, the Firefly, and Storm Shadow on there. There I go again, saying, how do you... Hey, never mind. Anyways, damn, computer's gonna kick on again. So this thing was awesome. I loved having one of these, and I did have one when I was a kid. And these little missiles pop off, and they shoot off. So this was nicely made. It has rubber tires. These rails on the side pop off and are lost a lot. The back part comes off as well. Holy, should have dusted this off for the review. Anyways, she is dusty, but it's got a couple laser cannons on it, and this was depicted in the cartoon a lot. Just loved it. This got a lot of playtime. I should get a couple more of these. There is other years that they've made this, and I think, I'm not sure if they made a Dreadnought one with the Dreadnought colors. I don't have any of those cool Dreadnought vehicles that were made in the green. Kind of sucks. And they're probably super hard to get because people just snatched them all up. So that would be another thing for Hasbro to offer, is the rare vehicles that people can't find for the vintage lines. You know, if people at Hasbro had half the, how you say, knowledge of G.I. Joe, and I'm sure Lenny does, so if they were smart, they would have some good ideas about, you know, what they could bring us, like the Dreadnought vehicles and those Dreadnought colors of green and stuff, like the hard ones to get. They should offer those at Hasbro, and they should allow people to have enough time when they take their orders, because when they did that, like limiting the amount that they're going to make for the line really screws over all the collectors and fans. So I mean, they should offer, when it comes to a pre-order, they should take the orders for a few days, and then after that, that's where you draw the line. You don't just say it's a pre-order and then cut off people from getting it. Like, that screws over your fans and it upsets people. Anyways, this is the Flight Pod or Trouble Bubble. I think I have one more of these, and it comes with a little mine. You put in this, you can have it remote controlled for play purposes. This little thing, engine cover pops off, or bomb cover, engine cover. The bomb cover comes off. This does have little steering, they say, fins on the bottom, and this pops off as well. Now, when I was a kid, one of my Trouble Bubbles broke, so these can be fragile. These, the sides that hold the missiles, can snap off as well. So they could have made this a little sturdier and could have made better missiles that fit on, or made a better like peg system for the missiles. They have remade these in different types, but it's still similar. So again, the Trouble Bubble. Look out, here comes Cobra's Trouble Bubble. So I love these. These were awesome. And Hasbro should keep in mind your vintage collectors, because that's who buys the majority of G.I. Joe. I mean, the scalpers kind of screw people over by buying up a whole bunch. And, you know, that's the Hasbro business model, is kind of screwing people over. So, Hasbro, you better rethink how you do business, because you're screwing your fans over big time. And the more collectors you upset, the less fans and collectors you might have buying from you. And that's a fact. So, anyways, you should always allow people the privilege of buying these awesome vehicles that you're coming out with for the O-ring line, and keep, how you say, vintage collectors in mind when you're rebuilding them. I mean, this, I love this. This Cobra Ferret was fantastic. So I used it a lot. Another common part that's lost is the little hose in here, if you can see that. But this one's complete. So the little piece that always is missing too is this little connector piece here. You might lose some of those pieces, but the suspension is friggin' awesome. It's not bad at all, and it's an awesome bike. Well done. I will give praise where it is. You know what I mean? When it's due, I'll give it. And the Mirage, the G.I.Joe Mirage also came with this little backpack that fits on the figure. So, but you know, I just love looking at the other years, and I do love the bikes. I don't know if I'm gonna give this to the Dreadnoughts. This version of Snake Eyes should never have been made. It might be some people's favorite or not, but it's just not Snake Eyes. The 1985 Snake Eyes is our Snake Eyes for the whole G.I. Joe line. And if you agree with me, let me know in the comments that the 1985 Snake Eyes is one of the best Snake Eyes ever made, and it fits in with the cartoon and the comics. So I just love collecting G.I. Joe, and I will for years to come. And we're gonna go through all the vehicles for this year, and like I said, there was 15 vehicles, 2 play sets, but the flag could be considered a vehicle because it is a flag. So, and there is also, there's 3 battle stations and 3 more of those battlefield accessories, as well as a battle pack for weapons. So I'm pretty sure that I have all of the vehicles except for the snake armor and obviously the exclusives, the cat and the other HISS tank, SAM-S. So we'll have more vehicles to review for this year, and I hope you enjoy the reviews, and I hope it you know, brings light, because looking at other vehicles from the later years, you know, stands out, and should be part of every G.I. Joe collection. But you collect how you want, and well, your collection is your own to build how you like, because there's so much to choose from out there in the vintage line, as well as the retro line. And I did have another Dreadnought cycle, but it just didn't go well with the Dreadnought, so I just had to get rid of it. I think I paid a couple $100 for it, and I sold it for like 50. I didn't like it. If I don't like a vehicle, I'm not going to keep it. I didn't like the mobile command base as well that they had for the later years. It's just, it's junk. I don't know. I thought I thought it was junk. I didn't like it, so I just used the stickers for part of my custom, and I got rid of that. Now, a few things, if I don't like, I'm not going to keep for my collection, if it's G.I. Joe or not. If it's not well made, or if it doesn't fit the figures as well, I'm not going to keep it for my collection. But everything that is awesome, I'm keeping for the collection, and